All right, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a fantastic now. The moment that you're listening to this, thought I'd do a little quick video as I get ready to run to this meeting here, networking event. Understand that when it comes to networking, know your energy level. I really enjoy meeting people. If you take those personality tests, I am 100% extrovert. So for me, I find a ton of value in meeting new people. When I walk away from those events, I'm just super jazzed up. I'm very excited. I just really it gets me excited, and ultimately my goal is to be able to get to know other people. So I'm interested professionally about your life, what you're doing, and what you're about. And so that's really where I go in from the mindset of, tell me your story. What do you do professionally? Where have you been? Are you from around the area? And so by being professionally curious with individuals, I'm able to then have them open up to me and let me know what's most important on their mind, and that allows me to then start building a good relationship. People, you should be interested into them, not interesting. All right, so totally made the mistake of coming here on the wrong day. It's next week. So I decided to make use out of my time, just sat down, worked out some work emails, and then was responding to people. And so one of the things that I just wanted to share with you that my buddy Rick shared with me, and I'm gonna put it here in an illustration, is that on one end, on the top end, you're a rock star extrovert. On the bottom scale, you're a introvert Rhodes Scholar. And then you either have the ideas that you wanna have your own creative content, or you've been able to learn from other people, and then you've been able to learn and absorb what other people are saying. And so here in this 4 quadrants, you have the different roles that you can play. And it's not that you're gonna be one or the other, but you might find yourself more of a tendency of one over the other. I myself am like literally 100% extrovert. I get a lot of positive energy meeting with new people, and so I really enjoy that. Where do you find yourself in these 4 quadrants? Sherm's out. All right, so totally came on the wrong week. It is the 16th. That's when we have this event here for the networking. So take use of the time, shout out some emails, responded back to people, answer some questions, set up another meeting. Because for me, it's either I'm seeing you to be able to do business, right? One-on-one, face-to-face, belly-to-belly, or I'm asking for meetings. That's basically the way that it gets done. And for me, typically I'll start making phone calls around 9 o'clock. And so it was like 7:30. So I just shot out a bunch of emails and set one up. All right, hope you're doing well, everybody. Sherm's out. Hey there, everybody. You're probably familiar with this story about an American businessman who goes down to Brazil and talks to the local fishermen. He says local fishermen go out and come back with many catches, many fish for the day, but he's done it around noon. And so then the American businessman is curious. He goes, why are you done already at noon? And he's like, well, I caught all that I need for my family, for our needs. And then the businessman is curious, and he goes, well, what are you going to do with your time? Well, he's like, now I can go spend some time with my wife, go spend some time with my children. After having dinner, I'll go spend some time with my friends, singing, dancing, we'll have a good time, sometimes as a family, sometimes by myself. And the businessman goes, well, what you should be doing is working longer so you can catch more fish. I mean, there's a lot of hours in the day. And then the fisherman goes, well, then what would I do after that? The American businessman says, well, then after all those extra fish that you're going to catch, you can sell it, and you can save all that money and then buy a bigger boat. And then after that, as you have a bigger boat, you can buy more boats. You can have a bigger fleet. You can have more employees, and you can be really running a nice business. And then the fisherman's curious, and he goes, well, what would I do after that? And then he said, well, then you'd go public, and you would sell this business to someone else, maybe a venture capitalist firm that would want to buy your fleets of boats. And then he said, well, then what would I do with all that money? Well, then you would have your freedom of time. And he goes, well, then what would I do? What do you think? Well, then you'd be able to spend some time with your wife and your children, and maybe your grandchildren at that time. And then you'd be able to hang out with your friends and really have flexibility. And he goes, the fisherman, still curious, goes, how's that different than what I'm doing right now? Think about where you are in life. Are your passions matched with your work? And are you working with a result, that end in mind? Sherm's out. So you did serious snow removal when you have equipment like that, removing snow. That's phenomenal. All right, here early, visiting with Happy Mac. Gonna be running the Q&As, social media. Carrie Ann's not gonna be able to make it today, just me. So hopefully we have a nice turnout. Going to be focusing the Q&A and leveraging of social media on photographers, videographers, and where everyone has a phone, everyone has a camera on their cell phone, or even on a tablet, on an iPad. How do you basically set yourself apart? So that's really what we're doing today. So let's go in and check it out. Hope you guys enjoy. So real quick recap of the day. So I went to the networking event. Obviously, if you didn't notice that it was actually the 16th. I totally put it wrong into the calendar. And so I actually put it on both days, the 9th and the 16th. So typically from around 7 to 9. So while I was there, I was able to at least send out some emails, set up a meeting. And so really that when I break it down to basically what I do on a daily basis is I either have meetings with people one-on-one, I'm prospecting with people like networking, or I am setting a meeting. So I'm either on the phone or sending out emails. So a lot of times, obviously, if I'm on the phone, I can't be doing this. And so I'll try to be able to do some videos here of me getting on the phone, because I think it's important for you to be able to see that that hustle part of what I do. And then went and did have the live session. That went well. There's just a couple people that were there. Well, literally three. Brian, the CEO of Happy Mac, let us use his office space, which was nice of him. And then there was Jack, who actually was invited by his wife, who I had met through actually I spoke about a year and a half ago about leadership, servant leadership. And so I connected with her. She works at our local technical college. Actually, I think it's a university now. And he is actually taking courses to become in video editing, and so it's good for him to be able to come. And there was Tara, who's just starting really in social media. So the more that she hears it, the more that she can figure out how the strategies can work for herself. And so the live session went really well. Had some. I haven't looked at the numbers of how people came online, but I care about more of the people that are leaving comments, that are engaging with the content. That's the most important to me. And so the three people that were there, wanted to make sure I answered their questions. Tara's question was basically, how did she start? She's just new to all this. And so really, how did she get her mind around social media? And then for Jack, who's the aspiring videographer, what can he be doing to kind of separate himself out? The cool thing is that Brian, the CEO of an owner of this company, Happy Mac, that he also has an interest and hobby into photography. And so he actually has picture frames down in the lobby, and he actually has greeting cards that you can buy that have the images that he's taken photos of. So really cool that he is able to show how people can now purchase his artwork or his photography.